So hello everybody, it is me, Demetra Kaye, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Sadiq, also known as the Black Yul Brenner. Here in Houston, it is almost 90 degrees, believe it or not, at the beginning of March, right? It's still supposed to be cold, but whatever, it's Houston, right? Nevertheless, we are not live. This is our podcast where Donovan and I sit and we chop it up for about an hour over something that may be trending. And usually we like to talk about something in the relationship atmosphere, if you will. So we're going to do that today. I also like to say the purpose of the Demetra K Show is to promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are great people, but we can always strive to do better. And with that, we are going to be talking about a story that's been trending online, and it's regarding a woman who has 7 children, and she's asking advice as to, is there a man out there for her or something along those lines. We're also going to talk about the Cornelius Green and Jocelyn, what was her last name, Peters story, in regards to a principal, Cornelius, who took her out of here. She was his mistress, and I'll get into that. But in the meantime, Donovan, what say you?
Well, I say welcome to the podcast, you guys. Great to have you guys back. As you guys see, and as you guys know, we have a scrolling banner at the very bottom there. If you want to donate to the content creator, that donation goes 100% to the content creator. Also, don't forget about the African Diaspora News Channel app. You can download it at Google Play and the Apple Store. Excuse me, that. A lot of stuff that's going on in the news. I just want to also mention Election Day is today in some states and some areas. California, we have an election in regards to Dianne Feinstein's seat for Senate. The first 2 people will go to a runoff because they can't make 50 plus 1. So it looks like Steve Garvey and Adam Schiff will be going into the runoff. Barbara Lee and the women magic. Where are the ladies at? I mean, it's amazing how women complain about how women this and women that is better, whatever. But we're finding that women aren't supporting women because these 2 ladies shouldn't be in the rear the way they are. But again, whoever you decide to elect, it's your business. Don't let nobody shame you into telling you how to vote or what you should vote and whatever. You vote your conscience. You should vote your wallet, number one. Your reality is what you actually see outside of your door. So if you're living in a nice, pristine Beverly Hills type area, there is no problem in my neighborhood. But if you're living in Beirut, South Central Los Angeles, Moreno Valley, California, and places like that, then you might need to make a change, because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting a different result.
Absolutely. So anyway, we are going to get into it. So first, we're going to tackle what I said that has been trending online for, I've seen it the last couple of days. So I said, Donovan and I will give it a try and see what we come up with. Now, as I said, it's a woman who has 7 children, and she is going to ask the host of a very popular game, I guess it is, or show, I don't know, called Tonight's Conversation. It is the creation of Ace Metaphor. And so I'm going to add that to the screen right now. You ready?
I'm a mom of 7 and I'm 33.
Okay.
With being a mom of 7, do you think that a woman of multiple children is still capable of finding someone?
First, let me ask you before I make the statement. Do the kids have the same father?
Yes, they do.
Okay, well, that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Okay, so this is a look. Hold on. We're talking about 7 children, okay? This is no offense to you, because it's absolutely possible for you to find a quality man. What makes it a tad bit difficult is that you have to find a man who has the financial footing to take care of you and 7 children. And then you also have to be able to find a man who is going to be willing to come in and create structure in that household. 7 children on 1 person is a lot to create structure in. So there's a lot that this man is going to have to come in and do. On top of that, creating a secure space for you when you have to be a mother and you have to take care of the majority of the things that happen in a house. are you going to have the ability to be able to love this man in a way that he needs to be loved, in a way that registers as love to him when you have to love 7 other individuals? You're going to need a man who can love those children as his own. Yeah, that is a huge responsibility to put on a person who does not have those children. Those are not his kids. But if I were you, no disrespect, I'll try to work it out with the father.
No. Didn't I say something? Hold up.
All right. So she basically said, and for lack of better words, is there a man out there for her? Is she going to be able to find a man for her that will take on such an awesome responsibility, might I add? And so, Donovan.
Well, I mean, she pretty much answered it the way most people would answer it. She needs to work it out with her baby daddy. She needs to work it out with her baby daddy, because most men do not want to take care of another man's child. That's just something that's ingrained in us. In the mammal kingdom, in mammals, in the lion kingdom, a fellow mammal, when a new lion comes into play and there are kids that are not his, the lion either kills those children or he runs them off. That's just a fact. Not saying that that's our situation, but most men want to create their own kids with that woman. Not saying if a man steps in and does that, that doesn't make him less of a man, whatever. I applaud him if he wants to do that. But the bottom line is, ladies, most men, we don't want to walk into that situation, because now you're also walking into the fact that if that father is still alive, you have to deal with that aspect of it. The disrespect of those children that might come out of that situation, depending on what information they hear and all that other stuff. To me, the logical answer is 7 children with 1 man, and you can't work it out. Go back to the baby father. I'm sorry. I mean, you're with the person for 7 years with 7 children, and you can't work it out. I don't know. I'm just saying, most guys, no, that's a lot to sign up for in the modern age. This isn't like in our parents' age when you can have 12 children. My grandmother's case, she had 20-something children, one income, mother and father. Those days are long gone. 7, that's a lot of responsibility and a lot of resources to be eaten up by a stepfather to come in and do that. And then again, we are dealing with the modern age. Like she said, the structure. I can't come in as a man and you tell me, oh, you can't discipline my kids. I'll do this for my kids. That's not going to work. It's going to cause a lot of conflict within the family. So work it out with the father.
Yeah, so there was a lot said. So basically 7 children, same father. And the lady, I don't know her name, so forgive me, who answered her, says basically it's going to be hard to find a man who can financially take on such a responsibility. It's going to be hard to find a man that will be able to lay down structure for said amount of children. And it says is he going to, be able to love the children as his own? And then basically she says, go back to your baby daddy. Now, I would that they would have asked her more questions. Why aren't you with your baby daddy? Maybe she can't go back to him for whatever reason. They're not together for a reason, whether it was her, whether it was him. I would have liked them to find out why they aren't together. And as far as a man not taking on that kind of responsibility, yeah, I would venture to say there's quite a few men that would not want to do that. But doesn't say all men won't want to do that. There's this adage that says there's somebody for everybody. That wasn't a bad looking woman at all, for having 7 children too. Yeah, she looked damn good. So I say that to say there's some man out there be like, yeah, baby, I'll shoot. Sign me up. I also like to know how old the children were. She's 33. So I'd imagine they're, depending on when she started, they're fairly young. Maybe, some teenagers in there somewhere. 33 is young to have 7 children. I'm going to say that again. But she does. So I would have needed to know that. What does she do for a living? How are the children being taken care of now? So there was a lot of information I think they should have asked. Then you could have plugged in the answers a little bit more. But I would say this. What would Claudine and Rufus do? y'all, everybody who might be too young, that was from the movie Claudine, where Rufus, James Earl Jones' character, he got with Diane Carroll, Claudine, and she had a whole host of children. Now, I don't know if they ever said if the children were by the same father. I don't think they were, but I think she had like 6 children or something like that. First, Rufus was having a hard time with the concept of taking care of 7 children, but he loved Claudine, and he tried at first, and then he got scared and ran away because he was having his own issues with his ex-wife, who was getting him for a whole bunch of child support and all that other stuff. But eventually he ended up saying, all right, baby, let's do this. They ran and got married. And then they, ended up, I guess he said he would help her raise the children. So I would say it's not impossible. There's a man out there somewhere. There's quite a few men out there somewhere that will be more than happy to help her. And I say help her with that responsibility because, yeah, I think it'd be hard if we know the average income of, say, a brother, if she's looking for a brother, is about, I don't know, $50,000. That's the average, okay? For Black women, it's about 40. So they're, neither, they're, if you put something together, that's something, but to take care of 7 kids and 2 other people, you might need to be like making a little bit more. So I say all that to say, no man, even if he was had 1 child or 2 children and a wife, $50,000 is probably going to be hard to take care of a household. What you think about what it entails to live, rent, mortgage, cars, insurances, food, and all that kind of stuff. Even with 2 children, it'd be hard. So she would need to chip in with a job or something like that. Is she working? So like I said, there's so many things that they didn't ask her that would have helped give more of a story. But see, when you ask somebody, and somebody says, well, I got 7 children, and I'm trying to find a man with a man you find me interesting, and you say no because this, that, and the other, you didn't get all the information to give you a better platform to answer her the right way. This is the other thing too, before I give it to you, I have with some of these platforms, a lot of those people seem to be fairly young. And I don't know what their background is per se to give these type of answers and stuff. A lot of it is very misguided. And a lot of times you end up getting gotcha moments like you have here with this viral moment. But I think an expert worth their weight would have plugged in ask more questions so they can plug in the answers just a little bit better.
I agree. Everything that you just said. Let's break this down financially. In the modern age in the United States, it is estimated from birth to the time the child is 18, 1 child, estimated the cost of $250,000. $250,000 to raise 1 child.
Does that include college?
No, just to 18. $250,000, just bare basic. $250,000. That's what it's estimated. So you're talking about 7 children. It's a lot. Again, the numbers don't lie. I mean, if again, we're not saying guys that don't want to take on that responsibility, that you're a bad guy. I mean, why would you put yourself in danger of being financially ruined or whatever? Or if you're a friendship with this lady and you love her to death, but that's too much of a responsibility that would lead to your demise. That doesn't mean you're a bad guy because you can't do it. At least be honest with that woman and say, hey, this is not not advantageous to me. The guys that can step in and will do the work, hey, more power to you. I mean, you're right. There is somebody for everybody in the world, but 7 children. And like you said, what's the context? Why did you leave them? Matter of fact, since we're talking about 7 children, we have a mutual friend that had 5 children with a man that had a decent job, whatever. And that was an abusive relationship, and she had to get out of that and whatever that context is. And even though she got out of it, she still was able to find love and got into different relationships and all that other stuff. In total, she had 6 children. So, because she had an older one other than the 5 that she had with her husband. So again, I mean, I've seen it in real time. It can happen. And she's in a relationship right now with a man she's been in a relationship with for 3 years. As a matter of fact, she got married again after her first husband. Oh, so yes, it could happen. However, and I know you ladies are gonna go to the sisterhood on me for this. Let me pretext what I just said about this particular person. She kept herself in a position to where you would not think this woman had 6 children. She looked, to this very day, This woman has kept herself up, and she has the genetics that could show that she can pull men because she's an attractive woman. Now, unfortunately, you've got some women that have, so many kids, and they get overwhelmed because they're living and work and stuff, and things go to the wayside. They don't worry about this, the weight, they're cooking a certain way, or they're eating a certain way, and they do all these things. Okay, so we're not talking about those type of women, but I'm going to preface this woman that we both mutually know. She's still a banger. She can pull them. So it is what it is.
Yeah, and as I said, this particular lady here, she still look good, for 7 children. I'm like, wow, some people have one and be toe up and need a mommy and me makeover or whatever. No shade, that's having babies, will do that to a woman. So it's just a fact of life. But yeah, there's somebody for everybody. I don't like to count anybody out, and for people saying, nah, ain't no man. I'm not saying you saying that, but the people I've seen on platforms saying it, ain't no man gonna want to do that. It's like, no, say you wouldn't want to do that. But that don't mean there's every man out there ain't gonna want to do that. Shoot, a lot of men looking at her like, damn, she got it going on. The other thing is, what qualities does she have? Is she a homemaker? Is she working? Like, what is she to sustain herself and the children? Is the daddy involved? Is he making child support payments or helping her with the kids in some way? Do they have joint custody? Because when I think of a mama and 7 children, and you say single mother, I'm thinking she's raising all of the children by herself. She's not getting any help. He's not, showing up for visitations or any of that stuff. I'm getting Claudine, but because they didn't ask those questions, maybe a man could look at it because I like to compartmentalize things when I'm thinking about something that has a lot of moving parts. Let's break it down. If I was a man and I saw her, I'm like, damn, she look good, but damn, she got 7 kids. All right. But what are the working parts to her and these 7 children and the baby daddy? Does he get them half of the time? Is he chipping in financially? Is she working? Like, what is all going on? For me, as a man, if I was one, that would help me make a decision as to whether I want to take on or help her, because this is the other thing too. She said, he's got to love those children as his own. No, duh. And I get tired of women and men getting with the opposite sex and they don't care about the children. I'm just with you. I ain't with the kids. You with the kids too, because whether it's the man or the woman, they're a package deal. Now, I know a lot of people don't like to hear that, but it is. Unless you're just saying up front, hey, baby, I'm just here for right now. I ain't trying to make no long-term commitment to you. I'm just trying to roll around, hey, trying not to become baby daddy number 13 or whatever the case is, right? But you can't say I'm trying to build a relationship with somebody, but yeah, I don't really want nothing to do with the kids. And yeah, will a man or a woman love somebody else's children as their own? I say no, 100%, because you're not going to love something like you love your own. However, that don't mean that you don't love them. Hell, there's people who got children by the same father or mama, and they love that one child just a little bit. I would say maybe not more, but differently. I think that's the word I'm looking for. You love that child differently than your own. As a mom, if I get in a situation, which I won't, that I'm a stepmama, I'm going to love that child, but I'm going to love the child differently because I don't have the history that I have with my own, and my own came from me. So I'm prefacing that because it's not like you don't love the child, you just love it differently. But yeah, I think that's a no-brainer. You're going to have to love my children. You can't just come up in here, hop up and down on me like a trampoline and tell me I don't want to do with the kids. No, I ain't going to work.
Right. And a good example, like our mutual friend, I've known her and her children all these years. And, I love her children, for who they are and what they are and stuff like that. I mean, very good kids. She really did a very, very good job of raising her children. And so in a scenario and I'm just going to preface this because I know you ladies are going to be, oh my God, if I had a chance to get with this woman, if that was my choice to get with her, I would. Because I know what kind of woman she is. And I would. So there it is.
Yeah, and it's see, the problem with the internet now is, and that's why I say I hate the internet sometimes, because a person puts an idea out there and the idea could be so flawed. It could be so flawed, so off, so wrong. But you'll have so many people jump on it. Yeah, that's right. But it's like, shut up.
That's right.
Yeah, but it's like, shut up. Because most of y'all mama had some children when they got with your stepdaddy. Most of y'all daddies got with a woman that had some other children. But now all of a sudden, you gonna rewrite the dating rules and who people should be with. A woman with children is not acceptable to nobody. But by that same vein, there's a lot of men out there who have children, so that's supposed to be acceptable because he's a man. So I say it's to each his own. If you find value in that man or woman and they got 400 kids and you see yourself as being an asset to that situation, then go for it. But, like she said too, what's the structure? Are the children going to be able to take correction or, structure from him as he would be the man of the house if they got married? Now we talking about married. See, that's the other thing they should have interjected into that conversation. Are you looking for a man to just put your legs in the air? Or are you looking for a man that will carry you over the threshold? Because if there's a man that's putting his legs in the air, then he should not be coming in your home setting no structure. You know what I mean? Because he has not made that official with you. But if he's coming in as the husband, yeah, he's the head of the household. What he says goes. You shall not usurp his authority, whatever the case is, and neither should the children. The children take direction. Now, that's why it's called the courting process. You sit down, go out, whatever, and y'all talk about ideas. What you got, what I got. This is what's going on. This is the daddy, because you got to interject the baby daddy. And if he's got, a baby mama, ex, whatever, y'all got to bring all that to the table and see if that's a conducive situation for you. But you can't just say, you're cute, I'm cute, I got 7 kids, and let's just get together. Like, you got to really, really, really weigh those things. And in fact, you shouldn't even be getting in the bed because for one thing, obviously she's very fertile. She got 7 children. And if you are not trying to be baby daddy number 2 because she's only got 1, then you shouldn't be in the bed until y'all make a firm decision as to, are we going any further with this? Because you bringing a man into your life and you got 7 children, so those children might get attached to him. They might start seeing him as a father figure, and then he doesn't stick around. And then you're dealing with your own drama and trauma, and then you got to deal with the children's drama and trauma because they were attached to a man that really did not say he wanted to be attached to you and them kids.
And let me add this before we transition. Ladies, that lady had one father for those 7 kids.
At 33.
Yeah. Now, in the modern age, we're dealing with most cases, fellas, and and I've been out there, trying to date and do all this. Most women I'm going to meet have at least 2 different baby daddies, at the minimum of 2, right? Minimum. But ladies, you got to understand this: how men think. Body count. Some of y'all got 3 baby daddies. Some of y'all got 5 baby daddies. Whatever. We're not saying that, but that makes you, in general, to some men, least desirable because of body count. And those are the guys that we know. Those are the guys that we know. We're not talking about the guys that we hadn't even got caught up yet. Those are the guys that got caught up. So you got to take that into account too. I mean, I'm not saying it's right, but men, we do think of body count, and it is important. I know a lot of women say, well, body count is not important because a man has a lot of. We're not talking about that. We're talking about you as a woman. When you have a high body count, men look at that and factor that into their decision to get with you or not to get with you. I know you guys don't agree with it, but you ask most men, hey, I used to be a 304 out in the strip club and, whatever. I used to be this, that. A guy takes that into consideration. Like, well, should I get with it? Should I not get with it? Would my parents accept this? Would my family? You know what I mean? We do think about that. So ladies, you got to think about your body count. That it is important. It's a small piece of importance, but it is important nonetheless.
I think I busted a sweat just thinking about a rebuttal. I think I did. It's hot today. I should probably turn on my air conditioner. Maybe I will later. I agree. Body count is very important. I know for me as a woman, I don't want to be with no man who done been dipping his dipstick in everybody else's engine oil. I'm just not going to do it. I don't want to know about it. If you've been out there in the streets and you jumping out and treating a woman, every woman you see like a trampoline, yeah, you might want to keep that to yourself. However, I just like to say a lot of the men don't have a problem going over to the DR or Brazil or Thailand, and those women being ran through like a racetrack, and they ain't worried about their body count then, looking for wives in all the wrong places. But those women got the highest body counts on the planet. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, how we discriminate against body count over here, but then they over there, and that's what they do on their resume. It says, I am a 304, okay? My body count is immeasurable. It's infinity. But yet they're deemed to be, you know, the most desired women. How does that work?
Well, again, you are exaggerating the fact. The women that are out there working as 304s in a certain area, nobody's trying to wipe those women up. We're talking about women in other countries that come from the provinces or whatever. The women that are working, no. And then even if they were working, how many women that you know have OnlyFans? How many women that you know work at the strip club? How many women that you know that are on the blade? It's no different. The women here are doing no different. It's no different. But what I'm saying is, in those other countries, nobody's trying to wife up a 304 in those other countries.
Who their customers is. And yes, I said who their customers is.
Oh, in that 304 area? I don't know. It's the tour. Here?
Here and there. Who are their customers?
Well, it's men.
Oh.
But see that's where we agree. You brought up other countries doing all the stuff. It's the same thing here. Here's the problem when people bring that argument up, Demetra. Like you said, it doesn't matter here or there. Women in this country are mad at Passport Brothers, from what I understand, because we're taking the money and spending it somewhere else. That's the problem. If we stayed here and spent our money here, you wouldn't hear all this.
You know what my mom used to say? Never account money until it's in your hand. The premise of that is, if it ain't in your hand, it ain't your money. So I would never get mad at no Negro nowhere spending his money the way he chooses to. If I ain't never had my hands on it, then I don't affect me at all. So I say, do what you want to do. But yeah, I don't know. Body count, it should matter. But my thing is, would you really ever know what a person's body count is? You know, you would know. Listen. If I've been with 100 dudes, you think I'm gonna tell you? If you say, "Hey, what's your body count?" Which is why they say you should never even ask, because if somebody really give you the real answer, you're probably gonna be floored. So if my body count is really 100 and you ask me, I'm probably gonna say, "Oh, it's 5." I've only been with 5 men in my whole life, you know, and even I think that's too much. But you know, I was younger then, so they're really not gonna tell you. I think. For one, you might not want to ask. And I think at this age, you know, I don't think you really should be asking, because you probably been with more than one. Okay.
I've only been with 4. 2 were my wives. The other 2 were, you know, my. Yeah.
Okay. Let's deal with it right now. Okay. What does your health card look like now?
Pristine.
Do you got You got the little homies down there? Is you itching where you ain't supposed to be scratching? You know what I'm saying? You gonna mess up my pH balance? Those are the things that are important right now, you know. And unfortunately, even back then, we do live in a day and age where anybody you get with is like, you cute, I'm cute. We probably gonna make some magic happen once we get to that point. However, we need to go on down to the clinic and let's run this blood test, homie. Let's get some swabs and all this other stuff so we can make sure that we don't cross-contaminate each other. You don't give me something I ain't asking for. I don't give you the same, you know. That's what the point where we're at. But see, you're dealing with people now who they don't think about those tourist things. So that's why I said body count. I mean, trust me, I know some people. Woo, they body count. They don't even make numbers that high. But they ain't never gonna tell no man.
I can say in my own defense, and I use this for my boys, I use it for my nephews, and I tell them, don't look at me as a hero. Don't look at me as a hero. You know, yeah, I had a good run, whatever the deal is, but you know what? I was lucky. I was lucky because I took the precautions. I did what I'm supposed to do. You know, basically what I was telling them is, yeah, you can sleep with all of these women, and you think it's a great thing, right? And let's say you're using protection, you're doing everything you're supposed to do. But that isn't something that should be glamorized. Do not glamorize me because I'm sleeping with this woman, this one. Like I said, I'm a single man right now, right? A lot of my friends are married. They look at me going to these different countries like, oh man, he's living the life. Look at this girl he's with. Oh my God, look at this, look at that, whatever. But I look at the younger generation, the younger men, and I say, don't glamorize me. This is not glamorous. Trust me. When I go out there to these other countries and stuff, believe it or not, Demetra, I'm terrified. I'm terrified because I've got to get to know this woman, and I got to take a risk because nothing is 100%, right? We know that, as adults, we know. So again, I'm on here, just like Eazy-E said, I'm trying to save some of my homeboys, right?
You can't even save his damn self.
Right, exactly. Until it was too late. I tell my nephews and all them, do not glamorize me because you see me doing what I'm doing. It's horrific to have to go out here and meet somebody. You don't know, like you said, you don't know their history. They don't know my history. We don't know what's happening, whatever. And then you have that magic moment, or you're about to have them. Sometimes I just gotta lay back and say, you know what, it's not worth all that. As fine as this woman is, and whatever, do I really want? It's a crapshoot, and that's why I tell my married friends, they go, oh, man, what's it like out there, dude? It is scary as F to be out there when you have all this temptation around you. And any one of these, they look normal. Everything's perfectly fine. It's a crapshoot. And I told him, I said, where you're at being married, that's what's up. And I tell my nephews and, the younger kids, hey, if you got these desires and something, nothing better than getting married and knowing that person and being with that person and doing what you're supposed to do. Like I said, Demetra, I get it all the time. All my buddies, oh man, you still out there doing it, huh, Don? You still out here? No. Just because you see me in this country doesn't mean I'm necessarily partaking. I might not be doing all, what you think I am, because I am terrified. That's how bad it is out there as a single man. It's terrifying as an older single man, period.
I forgot that I was supposed to fix this here for our next clip. I'm doing it right now. So we
and then let me expound on that. And this is what we're not talking about in our community. The mistakes that we made to the younger people. They just glorify us or think that's manhood and stuff. Let me tell you, young Thundercat, something. Manhood isn't how many women you can knock down and do all this other stuff like that. To me, that's a boy. That's a child. Because you're playing with your life and you're playing with her life. Do you know in some states there's laws where you could go to prison because you put this woman in that type of position? A lot of people, we're not telling the truth to the youth. Manhood is not this. What is up is getting with that one person and making it work. Yeah, there's going to be ups and downs. It isn't always going to be cherry pie. It isn't. But let me tell you something. I look at my buddies that are married, and we go to parties, or we go get-togethers and stuff. Let's say we're in Vegas or we're down in Florida, Miami, having a good time partying. I get mad for the simple fact that they're going to the VIP room at night. Guaranteed, they're going to the VIP because they got somebody. Me, I got this woman I don't even know, and it's just terrifying. There's nothing worse than you got doubt. You're about to go to the up to the hotel room, and you're just kind of like, I'm not sure. I'm not. It's in the back of your mind. And then let's say you do make it to the magic moment, and you're having relations with this person, this woman, and you're not even enjoying yourself because you're worried about the condom. You're worried about this happening. You're worried about that happening. You can't even enjoy yourself. I promote marriage. Get married. You have all the fun you want. And I don't care what religion you are. In the Bible, it says the marriage bed could never be defiled.
Period. It also says it's better to marry than burn. Of course, it's a double meaning, if you will. Burn as far as burn with desire. Because a lot of people are like, oh, I just got to have it, right? Well, get married and you can have it. Hopefully, if you ain't married to, I don't know, somebody who's approved or whatever, you can have it whenever you want. But the other side of that, burning is you burn in hell, so it's better to marry than burn. But I agree with you. You get married to somebody, and even that's not guaranteed nowadays. Unfortunately, people, husband and wives, be out there giving that thing away. But your intentions are pure. You're hoping that you could be with somebody who you can do that with. You know, and the other flip side of that too, be with somebody, you know, gonna take care of yourself. They taking care of themselves. Of course, we know age and gravity's gonna win or whatever, but shoot, you know, you don't have to die. You're looking like Jabba the Hutt. I done said too much. Let me go ahead. Let me shut up because I'm about to go somewhere I ain't supposed to be going. All right, so let's okay. Serious now. This particular case we're going to talk about. I'm going to show you guys a short news clip, and then we're going to get into a little bit more of the specifics of this particular case. All right, so here we go. Y'all like that, how I switched up, you know, my serious tone?
I love it. It's called a professional.
Right. You know, because, you know, we don't be doing too much. All right, so let me share this screen here.
Time to reveal something else you need to know tonight. Let's take a look at the big board. And we have on the left, that is Jocelyn Peters. She was 7 months pregnant when she was shot and killed. The man on the right is the father of the child. He was a principal. His name is Cornelius Green. He admitted, pleaded guilty with no deal, that he hired someone to murder her because he was married to someone else. No deal. Meanwhile, Cornelius Green, there he is. And this, let's take a look at Philip Cutler. We have Philip Cutler. This is the hitman. He's going to go to trial. He's admitted nothing. Will the principal testify against him? He didn't take a deal. He just pleaded guilty. So we'll see what happens. But at the end of the day, just do the right thing. I mean, you murder a woman carrying your child because you don't want anyone to find out, and then you admit it in court. We'll be back.
Right. Okay, so let me get into a little bit more particulars here. All right, so it says here, it's a short clip. It says, Cornelius Green, the principal at the St. Louis City, Missouri, St. Louis City Public Schools, was indicted in 2022 for the 2016 murder of Jocelyn Peters, who prosecutors said was carrying his child. Green was married and had carried on multiple affairs with women, including Peters. In 2015, Peters, a middle school teacher, told Green that she was pregnant with the child. At the time of her death, Peters was 27 weeks pregnant, like I said. While both Green and Peters worked in St. Louis City Public Schools, they worked at different schools in the district. Prosecutors said that Green, not wanting to take responsibility for the child, enlisted his longtime friend Philip Cutler in a plot to murder Peters. Green paid Cutler $2,500, which was sent in a UPS package that had Car Lane Middle School, where Green worked, as a return address. Green admitted that he stole the money from the damn school, okay? The principal stole the money from the school. Cutler is accused of breaking into Peters' apartment and shooting her in the head, using a potato as a silencer. At the time of the shooting, Cutler, who lived in Oklahoma, was staying in Green's home. So it says, and a plea agreement, Green pleaded guilty to charges of conspiracy to commit murder for hire and was sentenced to life in prison for each count. So, I mean, he ain't never going to get out. Says agreement does not require that he testify against Cutler, who has pled not guilty and is awaiting trial. So basically, his homie, Philip, who he hired, and let me see, I put a picture so y'all can get a better view of who these people are. So his homie, Philip, who is accused of doing the murder for hire, if you will, said, I didn't do it. What you talking about? I didn't do it. Even though the principal Green, if you will, said, all right, I'm pleading guilty for the murder for hire and, you know, all this other stuff. So the friend is in the back, Philip, the woman, Jocelyn there, and then the principal in a striped shirt. He's going to be going to jail for life, prison, I should say. And Philip was like, I ain't do it. But nevertheless, he was paid $2,500 that was stolen by the principal from his school district, that he was carrying on multiple affairs outside of his marriage. And they said, sounds like with some teachers and other faculty members, you know, within the school. Very unfortunate case. There's a lot of moving parts to this. But Donovan, what say you?
Did you say that he got convicted of 25 to life?
To life sentences. So one for murder for hire and then conspiracy or something like that.
Okay. You know, because it's funny because remember the killing of the NFL football player's girlfriend, Ray Caruth, Carolina Panthers. This is kind of remotely kind of similar in a way. The laws in St. Louis and Missouri are different than they are in Carolina, so that I can see where the difference is. Ray Caruth did a full 25, got parole, and got out in 2018, I believe. But it's kind of similar. But what's really sad is you've got these men out here willy-nilly throwing their shallongs all over the place. And then when a baby is made or conceived in this union, they don't want to own up to the responsibility of at least taking care of the baby. They would rather murder the mother. And I just think that, you know, to me, there's a disconnect now. And in my own situation, there were egregious things that were done to me by one of my baby's moms, but never did it cross my mind to have her deleted off of the planet. Never has that crossed my mind. Have I thought of other things? Yes, but not to delete, okay? Because this is the mother of my children. And again, it takes two. I'm not trying to say, you know, it's a one-way thing. This guy did some egregious stuff, but it takes two to tango. And we also got to bring in accountability to these women that are messing with these married men. Where's the sisterhood when it comes to that? Back in the day, and we know stuff like this goes on, but what kind of woman or a man would get involved with somebody who is married in the sanctity of the state and of God and get involved in that? It's very sad. So, you know, I'm not saying, you know, she got what she deserved or nothing like that. What I'm saying is this becomes a very intricate and entangled situation when you get involved in it. In the Ray Caruth situation, the child suffered brain damage because of the attempted thing. And all praise to God, the little boy is alive and he's thriving and doing very well for himself. But because he doesn't have a mother in his life, the responsibility fell on the grandmother to, you know, do what she has to do for her grandchild. And big ups to her for stopping her life and, you know, taking care of her grandchild. But I will never understand how these married bachelors, this is what I call them, married bachelors, are out here swinging and tanging. And then when something like this does happen, the answer is to delete. And if it isn't delete the mom, it's delete the child. Sad.
Yeah. I'm just writing some notes. So yeah, you're right. There's a lot of things going on there. Because her family was saying she's such a nice lady. Everybody loved her. And I believe all of that is true. But I'm with you, Donovan. And this is not saying that she should be deleted. But what nice lady is rolling around with somebody else's husband in the bed? Okay. Now let's break it all the way down. That if he was messing with multiple women in the schools in the district, I'm quite sure she knew. And you know, maybe he was the cat's meow around there. You know, there's usually that one guy on the job, and every woman wants to give him some. And they fighting for his attention. Now, never mind, he got a whole wife at home. I'm sure he got kids too, but that didn't stop them from wanting to be with him. Now, the other thing is, R.I.P. to Jocelyn. I want to keep saying that because I'm not trying to say she's a victim. I'm going to get to him, okay? You laying down with a married man unprotected and you get pregnant, and I'm sure he says, hey, yo, my wife don't know about you. I can't have this baby. And she's probably like, so what? Because now you're going to be with me. Because ultimately, I would think there's some side pieces who don't want to be with the man. It's like, I'll be with you when you come over or whatever. But there's a lot of women who are the other woman's like, nah, he eventually going to be my man. So maybe, and I'm speaking outside of not knowing Jocelyn, maybe she thought, okay, me having this baby, yeah, it's going to mess up his situation at home, but then he going to come, you know, running to me. But he was like, nah, I ain't going to come running to you, okay? In fact, I won't be with you. Get rid of the baby. I'm sure she's like, no. So then he took, you know, the punk itch way out and did what he did to her because he did not want to be accountable for his misdeeds. You sleeping around on your wife and you sleeping around unprotected, those are misdeeds, and it caught up to you, right? Now, the man thing would have been, see, she wasn't messing with no man in the first place, because the man would have said, hey, you know what? I messed up. Honey, this is the deal. I was slanging that thing all over the school, and I got caught up, and let your wife decide whether she want to be with you or not. But see, he didn't want to do that. He thought it'd be easy to $2,500. That's how much they paying nowadays. The $2,500 takes, and then at the end, it sounded like you was a broke because you stole the money from the school. So the other problem I'm having is I don't understand life for the life of me. How all these women, and if he's married, yeah, he probably don't got a lot of outside money because he's taking care of a household. I don't understand how these women giving all these Negroes, these broke Negroes, all this Koji. How?
Don't I say it? Don't I say it? Ray Ray, Nook Nook, and Cookie, they get more than the law allows.
There's this song, and I don't know who it's because my daughter be listening to it sometimes. Deanna, she's somewhere. But there's a song say, broke don't deserve no, and on the surface, now some men get mad at what you mean. No, I agree with that. Now, I'm not saying you got to be balling out the gym, but damn, you ain't got money that buy me no ice cream, nothing. No, you don't deserve none of my cookies. But see, you got all those women, including that woman. What was the name of that song you listened to? Broken don't deserve no cookies. City Girls. I should have known. But yeah, so there's Jocelyn, R.I.P. to her. She obviously, you knew the fool was broke. He's stealing money from the school to pay his homeboy to take you up out of here. $2,500. Oh my God. What friend? Now the friend must have been broke too, because who would have even took that low amount of money to do something so heinous, right? But so there's a lot of moving parts to this, but at the end of the day, keep your stick out of other women that ain't your wife. And if you stick your stick somewhere and you don't want a child, put prophylactics, if you will, on your stick. That way you more than likely, because it ain't 100%, will not be procreating. But if for whatever reason you do end up creating a life, own it, accept it. As the old people used to say, this too shall pass. One day the child will be 18 and you'll be like, whew, I survived it. But now, good luck, homie. Running away trying to preserve your booty hole up there in the prison, doing 2 life sentences, all because you was a broke, cheating son of a bitch that couldn't take your L and just made it do what it do.
It's funny. It's funny that you bring up a song. There's 2 songs I want to bring up. Just lay back and open your mouth. I have never met a girl. Okay. That was an option, right? And then, since we love these women, they love these songs that be dogging men out and stuff like that. There's a famous song that O'Shea Jackson wrote, and every guy should be singing it or know it by heart. I ain't the one to be handled like a poo butt, because I'm from the streets, so you know what's up. See, I'm telling you, you got to know that, because if you read those lyrics and see what he's saying in those lyrics, he's saying, just don't play me. I'm not going to fall for the okie doke, buying you stuff and doing this, getting you there. No, I'm not going to do all that. Just be straight up and front up and do all that other stuff. But God, Demetra, I agree with you again, which is kind of scary. I agree with you again. Fellas, guys like this make us real men difficult dealing with these women, because you're not taking responsibility for what you're doing. Being a leader means you don't just get the glory when everything is great. You got to take the L's when they come as well too. And one of the L's is not, I'm gonna just, pay somebody and just, try to hide my, my responsibility. No, you say, hey, I'm caught. I'm done. It is what it is.
Oh, honey, wait, you know how they caught the food too? Partially. He went up in the apartment talking about he found her there dead. How do you even know this lady? Like, what would make you go over there and see that she was dead?
Right. And if you're the principal, what kind of relationship do you have to where you would just arbitrarily walk up and find a woman in the apartment.
Just
Where's the professionalism?
dumb.
Again, it takes two to tango. I'm not saying that the lady deserved what she got. He definitely deserved what he didn't really get what he deserved, in my opinion, because I'm of the opinion it's an eye for an eye, a tooth for a tooth. If you take a life, your life will be taken. Simple as that. The idiot that I look at a man, me personally, I would, as a military person, I would never ask somebody to do something I wouldn't do myself. Leadership, once again, leadership. For people to follow me, hey, I can't tell you to go run and take that hill, and I've never ran and taken a hill or been under armed fire or whatever. For this guy to throw his life away in something that he had nothing to do with, ludicrous.
Yeah, you could have said, hey, listen, friends will never lead you to danger, and don't call me no more asking me to take somebody out, man. You need to see, that's what I'm saying. People don't got real friends no more. Because have my friend call me with that, I'd be like, for one thing, is you serious? And the second of all, no, you own that. You own it. You made the mistake. You own up to it. Because what you're going to do is worse than, you saying, hey, I made a mistake, whatever. And believe it or not, there's a lot of women, I wouldn't be one of them, that stayed in a marriage, even though their husband have had an outside baby. It's horrible, but some women don't think that's enough to end the marriage, right? We just deal with it or whatever. I'm not condoning. I'm just saying in a lot of cases, that is what happens. But for whatever reason, Cornelius, that's his name, he thought he was more of himself than he ought to. I'm around here with all these women. Oops, I messed up. So why
get married? If you're such a ladies' man, why get married? Because if you're not married and then a baby happens over here, you're not committed to anybody. Big deal.
Because you got to remember, and you've seen it a lot in the military, I'm sure, well, especially when men get in high places and spaces, like a principal, superintendent, a sergeant, or the president, or whatever, they tend to have to be married, right? It's like a pastor. He's supposed to be married because a lot of times when the pastors ain't married, they run through the church like a fox in a hen house, So they like him to be married. So in that case, he's probably like, well, if I'm going to be a principal of a school, which is a prestigious job, they get money, right? I need to be married, but he still got these fraternity ways, right? He around there, humping all the teaching staff and all that other stuff. But it's like, golly. And it's as a woman, I just got to impress upon women, that's your L to take too. You knew the job was dangerous when you took it. You knew that man wasn't leaving his wife. Why do y'all fall for that every single time? Y'all idiots think the man is, I said idiots. You think the man gonna leave his wife for you? If he was gonna leave his wife for you, he left his wife for you. Matter of fact, he wouldn't even be with you. He would have just came to you as a single man. But the other part of that is, men like that, they know there's many women out there who will pay to play. I don't care. He married. I mess with him. He's married. So
wait. Are we talking politics? You mean Fannie Will? No, go ahead.
I mean, all of it, But then it's like, because I've spoken to a lot of side pieces, if you will. Like I said, when I worked at Frito-Lay, child, I think the side piece was invented in that place, But
I think that the bus drivers, those guys are the biggest players I've ever seen.
Right. But, I try a warehouse, where everybody's spending 8, 10, 12 hours a day there, But a lot of the women I talk to, who are friends, I guess, co-workers, I should say, they be messing with the married men. I'm like, so is he going to leave his wife? Now, mind you, at the time, I'm still kind of young, so this whole little side piece and thing is new to me. And I'm like, they're going to leave his wife. Well, I don't care if he leave his wife. I just like having a good time. And he come over, and we did it. Then eventually, as time goes by, you get to talking to him. Well, I'm just mad at him because, I asked him why he can't come over for Christmas. Why he can't spend, Thanksgiving with me. And I'm like, ain't this man married with some kids? Yeah, but still, he's over my house. And then I knew a situation where the girl called the man's wife. Told her that they've been messing around for all this time. And the wife was like, all right, what you want me to do? But I ain't going nowhere. For one thing, he got his own business outside of here. Plus, he was a mechanic, so he was making a lot of money. I don't work. I ain't going nowhere. And so I said, so basically, he's got the best of both worlds. Because your dumb ass ain't going anywhere. And his wife told you, I'm not leaving. You think I'm going to leave my husband so you can come up in here and benefit from what I'm getting out? So you probably ain't the first woman he was cheating with. So now the side pieces got her heart in her hand, like, oh, it backfired. She's supposed to put him out of the house. He's supposed to come be with me. And that almost never happens. Now he's running around like, we still good for Wednesday. My wife knows we good. All right. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know, and you know, I'm glad you brought that topic up too, because you see so many women, especially the young girls, and it's unfortunate, like, they got a lot of young girls get preyed on by older men, but it's always been that way. And, you know, this girl will have a baby for the guy, and he's married, and she's like, oh, I just want my son to have his father in his life, whatever. But you knew this man was married. How do you comprehend a married man to be a father to an outside child, and he's married and has his own family? He's willing to pay the money. He'll pay the child support, but, oh, I want him to be a father. You can't make a man be a father if he doesn't want to be a father, ladies. I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. And then the name calling, this is where the name, oh, he a deadbeat. He this, he don't do that, da. But wait a minute. It takes two to tango. It takes two. So if he's a deadbeat and all this other stuff and he ain't no good, whatever, what does that say about your character, ladies? So what I'm trying to say in this aspect, Demetra, you can't run the man down without calling into question your character. Oh, he's a bum, so you're sleeping around with bums? You know what I mean? So again,
a lot of cases they are sleeping with bums. But it's Donovan, me and you was talking about this the other day about the true definition of lunacy and delusion. We were talking about this because we throw those terms around a lot loosely, especially on the internet. They call it you're being delulu. Y'all don't know the real definition of delusion. And delusion is, I'm thinking I'm gonna hop in the bed with another woman's man. I get in the family way per se, and he gonna leave. Or like you said, why you ain't spending no time with my child? Because you know I have 15 at the damn house. And I could not spend no time with you when we off at the park or whatever the case is. You knew that. We both assumed the risk. I'm a married man, and you know we was humping around with no protection, and nature got in the way and did what it was supposed to do. And now we've created this child. Listen, first of all, sis, you didn't make sure the man was yours. You sold yourself cheap and hopped on another woman's man. And now you're mad. That's delusion. Delusion is you not counting the cost of what you're doing. Instead of saying, hey, if you want to be with me, love, you need to believe your wife. I'm not telling you to do that. But if you find value in me and you no longer want to be at home, then you need to X out that situation. Then we could be together. You know, but you thinking you're going to somehow finagle your way into somebody else's man. That's not how it works. That man needs to come to you already detached from a prior situation. But there's some cases where a woman will get with a man and he's like, okay, I'm going to leave my wife. I guess it would happen a lot, but I don't think we talk about the times, and I would say more so than not, that it doesn't happen, where the man is like, I'm telling you, I've talked to men who cheated, not like talk to them in a relationship, but like my one friend, I asked him, I said, why are you cheating on your wife? Beautiful lady, this, that, and the other. They have been together for some time. He says, I'm never going to leave her. He says, my wife, he says, matter of fact, is she doing what I'm doing to her? He says, I'm like, for real? He says, oh no, I'm never going to leave my wife. I love her. She's the mother of my children. He says, but sometimes I just want something new. But he says, I tell all these women that I'm messing with, I'm never leaving my wife. And he says, and when they get to talking about, well, then I cut them off.
But, you know, since we're talking about this real quick, we got a few more minutes. Demetra, I just got a question. It just blows my mind. It blows my mind. If somebody came up to me and said, hey, I'm married. Now, I'm a man, so the situation for me is dire. Because if I mess with another married man's woman, I don't care if you're separated or not. That dude could come after me. There could be violence. Because, you know, that's how men operate. I mean, you screw with my wife, you know, it's going to be really bad. So if a woman comes up to me and says, I'm married, you know, I'm just like, nah, I'm not messing with it. I'm not messing with it. It blows my mind at how women, and they're younger women, I get it, in a lot of cases, the guy will tell you I'm married and they have no problem with it. And then, okay, good example. I have 2 children. My youngest is 26 years old. I haven't had another child in 26 years. Why? Because number one, it's expensive. It's expensive mentally and financially. So I make sure in my relations with women, I do my part to not get them pregnant. Okay. I do everything I can. I mean, if I don't even finish sometimes, hey, I'm done. That's it. I'm good. Don't worry. It felt great. Thank you.
I got the point.
Yeah. It's all good. But it amazes me how these women in the modern age, with all of this birth control, demanding the man to do his part, whatever, how they end up pregnant. And I'm speaking from a man's point. When I see Ray Ray and Nook Nook and all of them with all these different babies, I'm like, how are you doing all this, knowing how expensive it is, number one? And then what woman would lay with a man that has no formal means of taking care of himself, much less any children?
But see, that's a conversation our parents was having back in the day. All right, I like you, you like me. Is you working? Yeah, I'm working. Can you take care of me as a wife? And then we have some children. Yeah, I got you. I can take care of you. Those are the conversations they had for the most part. I know there was still some degeneracy going on, but not as much as today. But you're right, Donovan. Today, people don't have those kind of conversations. We just hopping up and down on each other. We just here with the feel good. And then when responsibility creeps into the conversation, it's like, well, I won't no kid. You didn't tell me that when you was expending your 2 minutes of fun. You didn't tell me you didn't want no children then when you was oohing and eyeing and oh, you baby, I love you. Yeah, you didn't say none of that then. But now that the child has crept into the conversation, it's like, well, I don't know if I want to spend the rest of my life with you. And you know what I think is so sad, Donovan, is a man in his 50s, 60s, 70s paying child support. Because you got because y'all be talking all that shit. Oops. About how you want a younger woman. I want a younger woman, because we can still procreate. Blah, 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 blah. Y'all don't want an old bird like me, right? Because our little factory done closed up, got a close sign on there.
Yes, we love legacy. Yes, we love legacy.
Production coming out, but we'll take some. Shut up, Demetra, okay? Ain't nothing. Y'all talk about us, but then y'all get with them young women who was fertile as a field with fresh cow manure on it. Y'all get with them with your old selves, and then you end up having a baby. She said, "Ooh, I'm pregnant. Ah, man, I'm too old to be having a baby. Well, I want to be with you. Great." She down there with a little bundle of joy, little Donovan Jr. at the child support office. Excuse me, I need to put him on child support because, okay, you have Social Security. Yeah, I got it. What's his birth date? 5/7/1963. If I was a child support worker, I'd be like, did you say 1963? Yeah. Oh, he old, nigga. Yeah, he old. But he got to be on child support because you can't create a life. So that, you see what I'm saying? Get what you owe, birth or somebody.
Well, can I say this about that though? His friends, we are just like, you lucky mofo. That's what we're saying.
To the time, y'all. Man, she having a baby. Ain't you 500 years old, man? Yeah, what you gonna do?
Yeah, we're glad it happened to him, not us.
Right, look. Y'all smoking a cigarette, a cigar, crack, because you probably need to be doing that at that point. Well, Amazon hiring, you need that's your Social Security ain't gonna cut it.
and I'm glad you brought that up, because these are the guys that, I'm not saying, you're out there in the streets, you're living that street life, whatever. And it's so sad, Demetra, when I see guys that are in their 40s, their kids are about to graduate high school, they have nothing to give the children. Nothing to give the children but debt. Oh, you can get a FAFSA, you can do that, And even if you're in this position, okay, like I'm 53, I'm going to be 54 this year. Even if I was in a position to have a baby right now, it wouldn't faze me. It would be difficult, but it wouldn't faze me because I'm in a perfect time to do it, because guess what? I'm retired, so I can.
It would be more of a mental trip for you because it's like, yeah, I ain't had no babies around in a minute.
Right. But I don't have to worry about daycare because I'm home. Right. Hey, she's the one working. She needs to pay me child support because I'm with the child most of the time. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, but you're absolutely right. There's nothing worse than when you see a man, 70-something years old, 50, 60, 70 years old, paying child support, because at our age, at this point, we should know better than to involve the white man in our business at this stage in life. We should know better.
Yeah, I mean, and it's all fun and games. I got me a young one until you have you a real young one for real when she give you a child.
Right, but having a young one, this woman can have a baby, especially if she doesn't have a baby. She's going to want a baby eventually.
Yeah, and then these fools talking about her tubes is tied. You know how many babies run around here but out of some tied tubes? I'm just saying, even for men who said I had a vasectomy, you know how many of those came loose? Or, for whatever reason?
Exactly. And again, lunacy and the definition of insanity, and we keep doing it within our community, and nobody wants to take accountability, male or female.
Yeah. So, like I said, y'all do what you want to do, but Demetra Kaye will be 53 soon. And I ain't got to worry about none of that. None of it.
Neither does your sister. That's why I was like, come on, girl. What's the worst that could happen?
Right. You never know. But yeah, that's what they say. Settle down to a good choice. A good choice. Because like you said, Donovan, at this age, yeah, we should be able to help a child do something, leave something. But it's sad to see people, men and women at our age, just keep, I almost said the F word, keep effing it up. It's like, at this age, we should be like, okay, I remember when I was 20, man, because me and Donovan, we all got stories when we were 20 and 30s, like, my God, I can't believe I was so stupid, or I did A, B, C, and D, but when we in our 50s, it's supposed to be like, yeah, I remember those days, I'm a long way from there, I know how to execute this that way and do this, you know what I'm saying, and when you're in your 50s, you're older, that's why I always say, I never would, even though 20s, probably looked a little better, whatever. I wouldn't want to do my 20s over. I wouldn't want to do my 30s over. And I damn near wouldn't want to do my 40s over. I'm good in my 50s because I know what I didn't know. And I would be a damn fool to repeat some of the stuff that I know better than to be repeating like I was in my 20s. In my start, it's like, because those are the ages where you learn and stuff, right? Oops, I was 20. I had a baby out of wedlock, but I didn't do it in my 30s. I didn't do it in my 40s, and I couldn't do it in my 50s. But I just didn't keep making those same old, missteps. I don't want to say a mistake because my daughter's not a mistake. But when you get this age, like I said, I swear for God, I hate to hear people our age talking like they in their 20s. You still acting like that?
I know a dude, real quick. I know a dude, a personal, close to the family. I know a dude. Just found out, okay, he's married, been married for a long time, over 20 years. Found out some paperwork came to the house talking about he had to take a mandatory DNA. Of course, like most guys, I don't know what they're talking about. Well, I don't know this woman. I don't know anything, right? Tries to evade it. Finally, he has to go in and take the DNA test. 99.9888% child is his. Did the woman leave? No, she's not going to leave because she's an older woman now. She's like, it is what it is. I doubt if they have relations like that anymore. But the point is, and this man's a truck driver. And I'm just like, yeah. And I'm just like, how at this man's age number one, are you messing with this young type of chick? And now you're liable for this child support. You're skeeting up in these women. Why? And now he's got child support. This man is in his late 60s, middle 60s maybe. So he's going to die paying child support.
And child support ain't cheap, So, but anyway, so we're going to get out of here, Donovan. We're going to talk about some politics. I know there's a lot of stuff going on in Haiti. I really need to do my research. It's off the hinge. I don't
know super investigator. Like Tiffany Henry, super
What's a super mayor?
I have no idea.
It says some term she made up. So I don't know. We'll talk about politics. There's a lot going on. Of course, y'all know the Supreme Court yesterday ruled in Trump's favor. He stacked the courts in his favor. That was a no-brainer.
The Democrats' plan to keep this man tied up is falling apart. And all they have to do is put those checks out to the ADOS blacks, and they will win the election. But notice they're not doing it. They're not even panicked.
We'll see about that, won't we? So anyway, we'll be back here in a couple of hours. What time is it now? It is 2 o'clock. So we'll be back here 2 o'clock Central Time. So we'll be back here about 5-ish Central Time. So stay tuned. We're going to have a great live discussion with you all. So in the meantime, you guys be safe, be blessed. And if you see fit to help this channel, we would love and appreciate you doing this. Various ways to do it there at the bottom: PayPal, Venmo, Cash App. And you can do a super chat and all that. But at the very least, please subscribe, like, and all that other good stuff. Love you. Peace.